Good morning. Hi, friends. Hi. I am home today. Mama did not have to go to work at the restaurant today, so I am home and recording some videos. And I just had an amazing video with Floral from Under the Rock. He is another puppet here on YouTube, and he did an interview with me, and I'll be on his channel, and I'll be able to drop the link to my interview tomorrow. I'm really excited about that. And I was so juiced up after talking to Floral. See, I started my day with Your Morning Guru, as I often do. And then Floral interviewed me, Floral Under a Rock. I'll drop his URL in my description when I get a chance. Meanwhile, so he did the interview with me, and then I was so juiced up. I thought, oh, I want to talk with my friends. And then so me and Mama, we sort of did a brainstorm session, and we came up with kind of a theme because I want to try and keep my videos, even when I'm live streaming, extremely relevant, even to those who watch them later. And if you are watching later, I'd love to hear your comments about what you think of that, because I know not everybody can meet me live and take that opportunity, because you're busy, right? Because you are a creative, independent small business owner, and that's a lot of work. I get it. It's a lot of work, and you don't always have time to drop in, and that is a-okay. The beauty of the internet is that we can meet on times that are, what's the word? Convenient. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Convenient for you. So, my theme for today is what's your worry? And the reason why this is my theme today is because today is Wednesday, and Wednesday starts with a W, and worry and what start with W. So I thought, okay, that's a good theme. We'll start with that, because I like to create content that is geared towards solving some of your problems. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist, uh, or anything like that. So I can't solve all your problems. But I can maybe help you connect to people that can, or maybe we could connect over. See, I know so much about small business planning and pricing and promotion, especially the promotion. My favorite thing is publicity, because that's fun to do, and it's so rewarding in so many different ways, and it's also very cheap, because at my heart I am kind of a penny pincher. I'm a penny pinching puppet, if you will. So hi, I noticed there is a live viewer out there. Thank you so much for joining me. I was just saying that I am a penny pinching puppet, and I want to know, what's your worry on this very Wednesday? And if it's not a Wednesday, for those of you who are watching later, that's okay. You can still drop your worries in, because that will help guide my content. My purpose of my content, I kind of changed up my tagline this week. It used to be, that I am here to empower and educate and be an example, but I've changed it to encourage, educate, and empower. I kind of taken myself out of the equation when it comes to that, because really, this is all about you, specifically those who are creative, independent, small business owners. And hi, Live Style Rewind. I know you from Early Morning Guru, or Your Morning Guru. I always say Early Morning Guru because it is so early here when it's on. So I was just saying that I created the theme for today is what's your worry? And then if you tell me your worries, and if you don't feel like telling me, publicly, because that could be kind of embarrassing in some cases because you have nothing to be ashamed of. We are all friends here. But meanwhile, if you don't want to, you can always send me an email, page@pagetopapa.com. And I will, that will help me create my content too, because I have so much. I tell you, when I tell you, I would like to keep it business related, business related, but keeping in mind that as a small business owner, often our personal worries are our business worries. Did you know the biggest cause of business failure or closing among women business owners is divorce? Like that is often the precipitating factor in the closing of women-owned businesses. So sometimes the personal things get in the way of the business things. So it could be any worry, but mostly things I'm looking for, things that can help me drive my content. Like I know a lot about publicity and I know about promotions and planning and all those things, but I'm making my list of content and things I want to concentrate on creating for next year. And I'm going like, what do my people want? Because I want to deliver what my people want and need. You know what I mean? Like I can babble on for days, like literally days. Mama has like full week courses on all sorts of things, all sorts of things. So given that, I'm like, okay, how do we narrow it down? Well, yeah, that live style rewind. I just want to point out that that's just a observation that Mama's made over the years, and not necessarily a true fact. I've got to be clear about that. Mama has been in small business and home based business for like 25 years. It will be 25 years, July 2nd, 2022. That's when the 25 years will be her anniversary of starting her first official home-based business. But she, looking back on it, had a business back in high school, though she didn't treat it as such, but she technically was a freelance gig kind of person back then with between childcare and cleaning houses and looking after houses for people who are on vacation and mowing lawns and shoveling sidewalks and all that stuff. She did that in high school. When she went to go and live in BC after she left Edmonton. In Edmonton, she started working at 13. Okay, like she just started working at 13. So a long history. And so, anyways, 25 years was the beginning of the work at home adventure. And that's kind of what we're sharing now because she started as a home childcare provider. And then she started writing because when she was a little girl, she wanted to be a writer. And then so she tried that for a little while. And then she ended up writing for small business owners and doing websites and brochures and all that sort of stuff. And then it was press releases and it just kind of flowed from that beginning. And so anyway, then she was a while ago, before I was invented, she worked in a government sponsored nonprofit organization that helped small business owners. So then when she was working there, she became a certified small business coach and helped small businesses get started with business plans and all of the things, teaching things like basic accounting and bookkeeping and web design and all of those things. So, all the things that a small business owner would need to know to get started and all of that. And yeah, okay. Let me listen to, I'm going to just read this question. Okay, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to show it. Okay, so I guess a big worry point or point of improvement is how integral social media is to business success these days. I have low self-esteem and anxiety, which makes sharing things on social media kind of difficult. Oh, I have solutions for you, Lifestyle Rewind. I do, because Mama also suffers from anxiety. and other mental illness issues. Well, not that anxiety is a mental illness, it's just something that can help hurt um, your efforts, because a lot of times uh, the things that you think affect how people look at you can make you not do things, right? I mean, is that the kind of anxiety we're talking about? Because there are different kinds of anxiety. Now, before I go forward, I am not a mental health therapist. I just have a lot of experience. And Mama does have a certificate in mental health first aid. So she does have like that little certificate, but it was just 2 days of learning and stuff. So, anyway, when it comes to that, okay, first of all, nothing is vital to small business. You can work your small business around what can help to grow your business and grow your channels. But if it feels uncomfortable to you, you can find alternatives or ways that it can work for you. For example, did you can make it the things that are, oh my, I flashed on the screen. Um, so you can make your social media about something else, like kind of like the way Mama does with me. I'm a puppet. And she expresses some of her messages through me. And that makes it easier than being on the camera all the time. She doesn't have to worry about her hair or her makeup. So, one of the things you could do, oh, exactly, you are going to overthink all of the things. I'm just going to pull this up one. You said, oh, yeah, you overthink how everyone is going to perceive you. Now, I would say something and it might hurt your feelings and it might make you feel better. I don't know how this is going to make you feel. People don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. So, if you are promoting yourself or your business, you want to position yourself as a solution to a problem. When you do that, it can sometimes make it easier. You take yourself out of the equation. You put your customers at the center, and you move out of the way. And you talk about how you can help them. And that might help because you will feel more confident in the things that you know. And that's another, oh, oh, it hurt my feelings and made me feel a little better. Yeah. Um, okay. Yeah, because, it's kind of hurtful to know that you are not the center of the universe, but none of us are. Everybody is kind of like the star of their own lives. And if you think about that, you can put, okay, how can I put my customer at the star of my product? And then you move out of the way, and then it's easier to promote your thing. Now, keep in mind that social media is about social. It's not about pushing your product. It's about building the relationship. But you can build the relationship through the talking about how you fit into their lives, because it's like kind of like the lifestyle, but not the lifestyle, not like the MLM babes, not like the Huns do it, but just kind of subtle but there, like you're part of them. You know what I mean? Oh, Maria Steffe, thank you for joining me. Yeah, social media is a grind, but remember, you don't have to be a master of everything. Pick one thing, love it, nurture it, and then grow from there. This is the best advice I can give, is to master one thing at a time. You don't have to do all of the things. In fact, one of the most beautiful stories that Mama knows of a local creative independent business owner, she is just learning social media. Most of her work has come through word of mouth and building her business over the years. and not necessarily through the social media. And you know what? Her friends help her with the social media. They feature her on, like, if she posts something, they'll help bump it along and that sort of stuff. So making friends and networking and letting them help you can help make the social media grind a little easier. So going back to, I'm gonna go back to my, oh, where is that? I'm gonna put that right. So yeah, my topic for today is what's your worry? Try and get an idea of what kind of content I can create and to get a conversation going with my special people out there. Did you know? I'm so excited. I am up to 155. That's like so big compared to where I started. And I am so grateful. So thank you for being a part of that. And helping me to grow my dream and my channel. Because this is just the beginning and I'm so excited. So there's that. So yeah, I did an interview earlier. I mentioned this, I think, before either you dropped on live. It will be live probably tomorrow. I did an interview with another puppet. He's green and fluffy, and his name is Floral from Under a Rock. So that will be on tomorrow on his channel, and I'll drop the links in my social media tomorrow. And that's another way that you can grow through social media, is to make friends. When you make friends, and then they help to bump you along. That's another way to make it easier. Oh, and if you have anxiety, another thing that you can do is to really concentrate on getting testimonials from your clients, and to create referral programs so they can bump you along, so that you don't have to put as much effort into outward promotions, if that's the word for it. Like, you can try and create an environment where your community helps you to promote your message, and that will help to make it easier. Because you know what? Okay, so I said earlier, I'm a penny pinching puppet. You can make more money and save more money on your marketing when you market to the people who already buy from you. This can save you like 30% on your overall marketing when you start transitioning to marketing to the people who already love you, and creating programs that get them to talk about you. Because people trust what other people say about you more than anybody says about you. Like, I can stay here all day and tell you about all the certifications that mama has, but you will probably trust somebody that she has done work for before more than you will trust all of her certifications, right? Like, does that make sense? So yeah, like, you can try and work those things into your promotions, and then that will help your money go further and help us so that you can work less. Yes. And when it comes to those things, when it comes to, so I'm just going to pull your comment up so that people know what I'm talking about. Yes. Yes, exactly. That is a big reason why I want a larger presence on Instagram and YouTube. I really want to create a community and connect with like minded people, but anxiety and other issues creep in. Okay, I'm channeling Mama right now, and she says, anxiety and other issues will always creep in. This is where it's important to strengthen your foundations when you are feeling healthy and vibrant. that is when you want to strengthen your foundations and your plans. That is when you want to reach out for support, and so that if you have a support group that knows that you have anxiety, then when you actually have the anxiety, it's easier for them to know to check in on you, because we know, especially with anxiety and depression and other things that can make us feel ashamed, and maybe a little bit less likely to reach out for help. You have to create those foundations when you are feeling healthy, so that they are there when you aren't so. Does that make sense? Because if you wait until the anxiety is so big that you can't do anything, and this happens in a lot of different cases, from ADHD to depression to generalized anxiety, to just simple life problems, because stress happens even if you are a mentally healthy person. Sometimes when you have mental illness, that can be tough to remember that even normal people, so-called normal people, have stress. But it's easier to deal with if you have the structures in place and the knowledge to deal with them when you know. So if you know that you have those things, okay, then you have to go back, because we know that those things are helped by the basics. And I covered this a little bit in my interview with Jazz, the puppet that Savvy created about self-care. These things are important in those situations. Okay, let me see. I'm just seeing. Oh, this is a good business question that's coming up. I just want to finish my thoughts on depression, anxiety, and other things that might impact. So then there's other things that impact your business that are outside of our control. And again, it's going back to those basics. Are we eating? Are we sleeping? Are we taking our meds if that's something that we need to do for our self-care, exercise, all those, basic things that get pushed to the side when our emotions get disrupted. Okay? Okay, so let's get on to the next question, which is kind of a fun business question. My biggest worry is keeping my margins low, but that means I will need a ton of sales along with organic slow growth I currently have. Well, I have mixed feelings about keeping margins low. I have always tended to be, or mama, sorry, has always tended to be, uh, personally, in the self-employed at home type work in high margin fields. That is, it costs very little for us to get started and make a profit. Most times, being keeping your margins low requires high sales, and that can be difficult to do if you have a small budget, because there's sort of that grease that keeps the wheels turning. And if you need to have higher sales, you want to have higher investment to keep those margins low. So it becomes difficult if you are a solopreneur. If you are looking to advance and be a small business owner that has employees, then it can be easier to keep those margins low. But it is a really, really tight, difficult path that you choose when you do have that margins that are low. So organic growth is good, but it doesn't necessarily have to be slow. There are ways that you can increase the speed of your organic growth just by increasing your conversion rates and increasing the power of your copy, and also increasing your ratio of relationship building and making sure that you're including calls to action in everything that you do. And those things will help your organic growth and make that less slow if that's what you're looking to do. Oh, thank you, Maria. Yeah, spread the word. We love talking about. Did you know that this is, I think, oh, wait a second. Is this one of the, I know that it is Suicide Awareness Month this month of November. November is home to a lot of different causes, and that's one of them. In Canada, it is also our Family of Violence Awareness Month, which is a cause near and dear to Mama's heart as far as causes go, because she was in a violent domestic situation at one point. Well, 22 years of points, if we're going to be exact about it. Anyways, thank you. Thank you. I like talking about anxiety. I'm not sure if you know, but Mama's mama had a mental illness that she was hospitalized for, institutionalized, as they call it. It was called originally schizophrenia, and then as politics changed, it was changed in diagnosis. But the end product being that Mama has a high concern and a high oh, hi, Joe. Hi. Thanks for popping in. Just talking with my friends and getting ideas for content that I can move forward with in the future, because I'm working on planning my 2022. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's almost 2022. Hi to my other viewer. I now have 4 viewers out there. Thank you for joining me as it's Wednesday, and I have a topic of what's your worry. And so far, we have talked about anxiety, and we've talked about profit margins a little bit. And we've talked about some of the different causes that are being promoted this month of November. So, yeah, I'm just going to take a little break, a breath, so that Mama can have a sip of her coffee. Maybe while I'm doing that, you want to drop what's your favorite refreshment? And if you do have a worry that you want to share, as I said, if you don't feel comfortable dropping it in the comments, feel free to email me at paige@pagethepuppet.com. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. She just likes coffee, and she had to take a little break because making me talk can be a little bit, what's the word? Thirst inducing. Yeah, I guess that's the word. Thirsty work. So, yeah, if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them. I love dropping my knowledge. And if you have, how have you liked? Have you guys, Maria and Livestyle Rewind, have you had a chance to look at my publicity ones? Because publicity is a topic that Mama knows a lot about. Did you know that she started about 20 years ago? She started writing her first press releases, and those were, she was doing them for $25 a pop back then. So this was back in, let's see, that would have been maybe 2003, 2004. That was also when she learned how to do cheerleading, and then she taught the girls at the school how to do cheerleading. That was her volunteer work that year. she's done a lot of crazy things in her life, I'm telling you. Oh, and then the following year, she worked with the grade 9 students on a project, on a video project, and they won a prize, uh, top prize for making the best video, and it was for a project called RIDE. Speaking of causes, that was reducing impaired driving effects, and it was all about um, creating a message to stop people from drinking and driving. And they won the top prize, $1,000, and they used that to go on their grade 9 field trip to Toronto. They used that money towards that. Yeah. Oh, you watched one of those videos. Did you find it easy to follow? And do you think that it was helpful? Those are the questions that I want to know, because I want to make relevant content, things that help people. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. So I'm really happy and excited that you watched it, because I want to make things that people want to watch and ask. And you said that you only drink sparkling flavored water and tea. Those are excellent things. All of Mama's childhood, she only drank tea. She did not start drinking coffee until she was 15, and she went to go and live with her white mama in her East Indian childhood home. They only drank tea. Only they drank chai, which is a little bit different than Western tea, because Western tea, most people. Oh, you're welcome, Maria. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. So I was talking about tea, and it was chai. So that has ginger, ginger root, and cardamom seeds, and cinnamon, and the tea pods, and the sugar, and the tea bags. And then that's the chai, and it gets all boiled up together. The Western way, it seems you boil the water and you put the tea bag in the cup, and then you pour it, and it's kind of a weak tea. But that's just my opinion, because, Mama grew up on chai. And it's not the same as the chai that they have at the Starbucks and stuff. It's not the same. I haven't found it to be. Oh, good. And yes, definitely. I imagine that means that you have found them helpful. And I'm glad that it is helpful. And you have given me some ideas. I think that maybe I should do something on how to build a bit. Oh, it's very good. Maybe I should do a video on how to make proper East Indian chai. Would anybody be interested in that? If you're interested, I can show you how to make proper East Indian chai. It's quite easy, but it's a few steps, because you start with the water, and then you boil it, and then you add the tea bags, and all those things. Anyways, I can show you maybe one day if you'd like to. I'll drop that in the comments if you think that would be interesting. Yeah, okay. Live Style Rewind would be interested in that. Cool. Maybe I can do that. I will put that on the list. That is awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so for those of you who are just joining me, I noticed I am up. Hi, Catherine, Kate Harding. Thank you for joining me. I am just doing a What's Your Worry theme, so that I can get ideas for my content. Brainstorming with you. And so far, we have talked about building a business with social media well on anxiety. Sort of. It's not really well on anxiety, but building a business on social media when you overthink things, and how to grow your business organically with social media. And like I said, I think that I will do an episode on how to increase those conversion rates by simply changing some words that you use. Sometimes copy can make a huge difference in how your copy lands with your target market. And that's another thing that's really important is to and that's what I'm doing here, trying to get to know you, what your worry is, getting to know you and understanding you as my target market. But I'm very, I hope, transparent about it. I learn this stuff so that I can match what Mama knows to what you are looking for and needing, so that you keep coming back to my channel and you tell your friends about it, your other creative, independent, small business owner friends who want to learn how to build a business that makes money. Maybe not millions, because I will tell you the truth. Mama has been working at home for 25 years, and it's been mostly in the $40,000 to $60,000 mark over those years. It has not been even getting to the what's that? What they call that in the uh, the six-figure earners. Mama has never earned personally 6 figures from her work. She's just made a living. She never thought about making 6 figures until these people come along and they say, "Oh, 6 figures," and it's like, okay, but we don't really, that's not our goal. We don't. Not to It's not to say some of our clients haven't made 6 figures. Some of them have. But honestly, most of us were in that, like just making an income from home kind of range. It hasn't been. So, and we think it's, it's not about being impressive. It's been about making a living. At the beginning, Mama just wanted to stay home with the babies. That's it. That's all. Wanted to stay home with the babies. But as you know, it is very difficult. And I don't even know. Okay. This was back in the 90s when it was still rather easy. No, maybe not easy, because it wasn't easy. I'm not going to lie to you. It was not easy. But you could not live on one income. Back then, and I don't know how people do it now, but back then it was no. Yeah. Okay, I see you have pet questions. I'm just artfully nobody. Oh, thank you for joining me, artfully nobody. I love you, so much with your Instagram stuff and talking. But anyways, just going back to it, yeah, Mama's first goal was just to, be able to stay home with the babies because she didn't want to go back to working retail. So to her, it was unbelievable and not really a goal to be making, 6 figures. It was just, can I make enough money to keep the bills paid, lights on, food in belly, toys for babies, books, clothes, that sort of thing. Not do I need a vacation home in Hawaii or anything like that. And here's the thing that Mama has observed over the years. The people that make the 6 figures, they don't keep 6 figures. It's not like 6 figures goes into their bank account and stays there. I don't think some of them make as much as Mama has. Like at the end of the day, what goes into their bank accounts. Like, I just don't. I haven't seen the evidence. And I don't know. I'm just saying. I haven't seen the evidence. I have seen the evidence of what Mama has done over the years. And I will say the truth. The lowest months she has made about $200. The highest months she had made just over $10,000. But that was just once. Okay? It didn't happen like month after month after month after month. In fact, yeah. So, and that was in 2010 was the month that she made, and that was just income. The income that came into the bank account was $10,000, but more than that went out. That's a lot of times what happens. in life and in business. And so anyway, that's just some of the background. I noticed that too. Okay, I'm going to just see. Okay, and go back to Artfully Nobody. I was just going to ask for that. Videos to help us with growing your social media business the right way. Okay, first of all, there is no the right way other than no be spammy. If you no be spammy, you're pretty much doing it the right way. It's about building relationships. But if you are wanting to convert and turn those relationships into customers, you have to get bold, for one thing, about asking for the sale, but also to present the opportunities to buy from you in a way that makes sense to the customer. So it's like creating those win-win-win situations where the person is like, oh, that's me. I need that. And then you go, oh, well, here you go. This is how you buy it. That's what it's all about, right? So I will make some videos on that. I am making a note, or I'm making Mama make a note because she's over there with the notepad, and she will make that note, and we will talk about social media. Now, is there a specific social media that you are interested in learning about growing most? Because we find that many small business owners try to grow too much things at the same time, and that makes it very difficult. So I see that there are 4 people out there, and I am so excited to see there are 4 people. We are talking about issues that I can maybe help with. What's your worry Wednesday, so that I can create my content calendar for the coming year. Now, is there anybody else there who is also creating a content calendar at this time? I would love to know. While you are thinking about that question, I gotta go and check to see if Mama left the door open, because my toes are starting to feel really, really, really cold, and we might have left the door open. So I'm going to go check that, and I will be back in a second. If anyone calls around, I'm going to, actually, maybe I'll just put the Be Right Back banner. I'm going to create a banner and say, Be Right Back. I'm going to add that banner, and I'm going to show that, and I will be right back. Oh, watch out for Mama's hand. I will be right back. Just look at my hair. I will be back in just 2 seconds. Not too long. Oh, Mama, go fix my hair, please. Fix my hair before you put me back on camera. Thank you. Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. And you know what? The door was not open. It is just winter time. So we need to remember to, Oh, what is that thing in my hair? Okay, Mama's got to fix that. Okay, so that was a little Velcro in my hair from when Mama put the wig on last time. Anyway, the door was not open. It's just winter, evidently. Anyway, yes, I hope they warm up soon too, Miss Catherine. So what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about, just continuing the conversation because I'm having so much fun talking to you. It teaches me so much. And Mama has to fix her hand inside my head. Oh, you're getting some behind the scenes here. Her hands aren't quite. Usually she takes the time to put her hands in my head properly. And she didn't take time to do that right now. Okay, now I think that's good. I can talk. So, okay, we've got 3 live viewers. And again, our topic today is what's your worry? I am unashamedly using you to help guide my content for the coming year. I want to grow a little bit. And okay, so yes. Now, this is Artfully Nobody. I like Instagram the most too, but I find that nobody reads the posts pretty much. Pictures get 100% attention. And you know what gets attention even more than your pictures is reels. Reels are really proving to be eye catchers. Now, the issue with most content on any social media is it reaching the audience that you want to reach? Because you have to get in front of people who can afford what you want and have access to what you want. Like Mama used to work with small business owners in a small town, and there's no point in building a huge audience hundreds of miles away if you're like, say, a hairstylist. Unless you're going to be a celebrity hairstylist or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying, what do you want? You know, like there was a lady that Mama worked for before. She was a esthetician. She was world class in what she knew about skincare and all the technologies and that sort of stuff. But she was based out of her house and she didn't want to grow beyond that. So there was going to be a realistic cap in earnings potential, which we figured to be about $120,000 a year, which was good enough. But there was an additional challenge in that you need to attract just enough customers to keep your books full, but not so many customers that you make people mad. Because if you have to book more than 6 months in advance, I mean, not 6 months, 6 weeks, then the people get upset. And they're like, oh, well, then I won't come to you. And then you lose them pretty much forever because people are generally pretty loyal to their skincare people. So that's a challenge, right? That might have people. I got off topic talking about Mama's old client. Live Style Relied said, I hate winter. I'm in Michigan and my birthday is in December and I've always hated that. We have mixed feelings about winter. It's like we like it in some ways. Like Mama wants to go cross country skiing, and we're talking with a client who's going to teach us about hiking. And so we like to embrace the seasons as much as possible, but she hates the cold. She hates being cold, which is kind of funny because she lived in the Arctic once where she experienced -60. No lie, -60. So I guess in that way, she'll never be that cold again. She could always say that. It will never be as cold where she is as she was in Tuktoyaktuk, where the polar bears roam. For real, for real. Oh, sorry. Mama got distracted by her phone, checking her texts. Yeah. So anyway, she's getting ready to send away some of the dog clothes that she collected. And so we're getting ready to sell those and send them away. And yeah, so yeah, it was so cold. Yeah, it is super pretty, but it is cold out. But on the plus side, you can dress for the cold. Like it's really, really hard to dress for really, really hot. So there is that. And we experienced really, really hot this summer. In some cases, oh my goodness, it was so hot this summer. Did you find it hot where you were, or was that just Canada that's messed up with the seasons lately? Fires and floods and oh, it's pretty sad out there these days. Yeah. Okay, so we know that we want to talk about some Instagram and some things that can work on Instagram. I'll make sure. But I honestly have to say, I might pass that on to my friend, Kim Free. I did an interview with her a couple of weeks ago, and she is really, really up on all the social medias. I am just sort of starting all over again, learning with a lot of the social medias. Because Mama started her whole business when Google, not Google. Can you imagine if they called themselves Google instead of Google? We'd be saying different things altogether. Anyway, Google was a guppy when Mama first started online. And so she has seen the rise of search engine optimization, and she has seen the way social media has progressed, because back then there was no social media. There were things like message boards and news groups and things that you don't find online anymore. Huge email lists. And um, there used to be e-zines that you'd get in your email, and you'd connect with people. That's how Mama got paid some of her first monies for writing, was for e-zines. And that was like people would print newsletters at home and then mail them out across the world. It's a different world back then. Oh, yes. She was saying, and the reason for being on the Facebook for that was that it's just where more people are in a general form. There's more people on Facebook, and so it is easier to reach a higher number of people. But Mama believes that you don't need a lot of people to build a solid business, that you can have a limited number of clients and still make a living. Because that's the way it was, kind of with her day home. When she had the day home, she was limited in the beginning to 5 children. And then later, when she had more babies, to 4 children and then 3 children, because yeah. And see, that's the thing. It depends on your target market. Like if you're going for 25-year-olds, don't bother with Facebook. They aren't there. They left Facebook, in Mama's opinion. This is not all. And this is the thing. You are going to find different experts or different people have different opinions about what is best. It is best to work on what works for you. Do more, try things, and then do more of what works. There is an old saying in marketing. I know that I am wasting half the money I spend on advertising. The problem is I don't know which half. Now, that could be true, but if you are measuring what you are doing and are looking at the results of what you are doing, you will be able to figure out over time. It takes time. It's not overnight. You will figure out what's working and what's not. And then you have to keep track, because sometimes things that were working don't work forever. There is no such thing, no matter what you hear the people say, of set it and forget it. You can set things up and have them work and then have them not work down the road. So that is just part of the evolution of business. Also, you will find that you have to sometimes change things up in your business, but there are some things that you can keep doing year after year, week after week, because they work. So some of it is art and some of it is science. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So that was just a response to your friend was saying. And yes, Kim Free did say that Facebook has the most people on it. But if those people are not your people, then it's not your place. And I also want to say that if something feels uncomfortable to you, you don't have to do it. One of the most important things in sales is confidence. And if you are not confident in the method or the message, you are going to reflect that in your attitude. If you don't think something is going to work, you are not going to put your whole heart in it, and it's going to be a, excuse my language, half-assed effort. You want to make sure that what you're doing, you put in your whole ass in and not just part. Okay? Okay. What else should I say today? I guess I've been talking for almost an hour. Can you believe it? I could talk forever. And see, this is why I wanted to do this episode and talk about what's really on your mind, so that when I go off on a tangent, they are tangents that help you. That I'm not going off on a tangent that just tickles my fancy. Because I know I am not the center of your universe. I am just the center of mine. And that is the way it should be. So do make sure that you are the center of your own universe. But when you're making content, that you are creating it for your customers. Okay? Because if you create it for your customers, then it's all good. Win, win, win. Okay, don't cut your nose off, as they say. Nose. Don't cut your nose off to spite your face. Okay. I know MLMs promote self-development to be confidence. I assume the confidence you are, and I don't have the rest of that statement yet, you are speaking about is in the product you are creating or offering. Yes, well, yeah, look, confidence is important because that's how people sense how to trust you. If people sense in their gut that you are lying or things are off, and maybe not everybody has this, but they have that intuitive inkling in their gut where they know where something is off. And in MLMs, they tell you to ignore that. They tell you to ignore your intuition. And I believe that no, you got to trust your intuition. You have to be confident in yourself, but also and you know what? Okay, confidence is not a all the time thing. As I mentioned before, mama has anxiety. She has depression. She doesn't always feel confident in herself, but she does feel confident in her knowledge, in her experience, and in the things that she does. So there's a difference in being in doing self-development for the sake of selling, and doing self-development for the sake of yourself, because it makes you a better person in the world. It's not just developing because you think that it's going to bring you customers or likes or people. So what is your opinion on self-development for my own business? Well, you see, I was born pretty developed because I am just a character, a personality. Mama, on the other hand, has, so okay, in the beginning, there was no such thing as self-development. It was just, how do I make a living not going to a job? How can I stay home with my babies and still make money? Because at the time, she was 24 and she had one baby, and she did not want to go and leave him with the babysitter. And so she's like, what can I do? What can I do? And so the thing she had in mind was she became a babysitter. Well, not a babysitter, because she never, ever sat on kids. Okay. She became a professional child care provider. She had a family day home. And so she looked after the kids. This is basically what she did. And she took on five children because that was the legal limit in her province. And so that's what she started with. And so it was just, they had nothing to do with self-development. But she did have the confidence that she would look after those kids and the love for them. And she learned some early childhood development and psychology. And she made sure she was really strict on, what's the word? Oh, screen time. They didn't have much screen time, but they did have some screen time because they had Reader Rabbit, and the kids, they played the Reader Rabbit. They had 20 minutes each per day, got to play on the Reader Rabbit and that sort of thing. So it is important, on the one hand, to have confidence in yourself and your skills, but it's not the same kind of self-development they teach in the courses, the guru courses. Do you know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. Maybe I can do a whole episode on the difference, because I will tell you right now, Mama's mantra for business success: no, no, never, never. No, no, never, never. Know yourself, know your market, never stop learning, never give up. No, no, never, never. So that is, and so know yourself is about knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, what you like to do, what you don't like to do. And then the second thing is know your audience. Who do you sell to? What do they like? Where do they hang out? What do they want to do? And sometimes that audience is just the you used to be. Like Mama likes to talk to people who are starting their businesses, and who are just looking to make a living, because that's what she knows. And so that's what she sells, right? And that's what we talk about as much as possible. She also had, later on, she got certifications in the small business coaching and training. And so we take that knowledge and we use it. And so it's just being, confident in the experience and in our observations. But it is important to always develop yourself. You never stop learning. But it's not the same way. It's developing your skills. They could be business skills. They could be your craft skills. I feel that this is something that a lot of the small business people, business teachers do not emphasize enough, is to be professional and world class in the skills that you offer. Too many times people ignore the actual content, of what you do, of why you do it. Like authors, do you really love to write? If you really love to write, then you find a way to make a living at it, right? You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. So self-development is for a personal thing, not a requirement, so you can fake the funk. Yeah, no, it's not about. Okay, so I was thinking about this. How many small business owners out there are just mediocre? That just do their thing, their job, and they don't think about higher purposes or higher powers or anything like that. They just do their job. They just do their job. And some of them, they are good business owners, and some of them, they are cranky asses. And they don't give a good impression of their businesses, but their businesses still last from year to year. They make enough to go on by. So if those kinds of businesses can have customers and still, they afford their vacations and stuff, well, then, you know, if you pay attention to the good things and you try to be a good person, then you should be able to have a business too, right? That's the way I figure it. I do think that you can fake um, being happy. Like, I mean, being happy is not the only acceptable emotion, is number one rule. And, number two is that we are all faking it to a certain extent. Nobody, nobody shows their true insides to everybody. There is always a sense of um, there's a part of you that needs to be vulnerable, and there's a part of you that needs to keep some shit to yourself. Can we agree on that? I think we can agree on that. There's some things that are public and for everybody to hear about, and there are some things that if you tell your story, nobody else needs to know. So yeah, that's kind of how. And there's some things that are just for therapy, and there are some things that you want to share so that you can help other people through the struggles you've been through. So that's my take on it. Thank you so much for asking. This has been my TED Talk. I don't have a TED Talk, but I could have a TED Talk. If you could do a TED Talk, what would your TED Talk be? I'm going to let Mama have a sip of coffee and you can think about that question. Oh, I'm down to one viewer. Maybe it's time. I've been talking for an hour. Maybe it's time for sign up, but I will put up my question again and let Mama take a sip of coffee. Okay, so she's had her coffee, and I really do have quite a few topics that I can cover. Anxiety and dealing with problems in your personal life while you're operating a business. Yeah, yeah, those are things that are, because those are things that can affect your business. And I know that Mama has had to do a lot of adjustment. Oh no, it's completely from a point of view, right? Like from recovering. And she can't even say she's completely recovered. She's just dealing, day to day. What can you do? And it is iffy if you're not a mental health professional. You want to make sure that everybody knows it's just your experience and not the experience of others. This is just how I deal with it specifically. And of course, I'm just a puppet. So I hope that people always go to the appropriate professionals for the work that needs to be done, whether it's an accountant, a lawyer, a small business coach. There's a place for everything, and everything is place, sort of thing. Although Mama's not good at putting the things away where they belong, just on the off. She has ADHD, we think. That's not been officially diagnosed, but pretty sure from the symptoms. Problem is, the symptoms of a lot of things overlap. And we know for a fact that the trauma can affect the way you grow up. And Mama, well, that's just part of things. The trauma of growing up, the trauma of being in a abusive relationship, the trauma of being a mama. Ha ha ha! I swear, there was trauma in that, though. Being a mama, 3 boys. I'm sure. I mean, she's crazy enough to create a puppet, right? Right. Okay. And now, I guess I do have quite a bit. Does anybody have any other suggestions for content that you'd like to see? I would love to hear it in the suggestions. But I think, considering I have been talking for already an hour and 10 minutes, it might be time to wrap it up and let you guys get back to doing what you do, income producing activities, as they say. Not that you have to be income producing all the time. I just want to say that because I hear that all the time, income producing activities, but there has to be a balance, okay? Balance is important in all of this. Let me pull this question up because I could talk about this all day too. I have so much to say about toxic positivity in small business circles, and I think that a lot of self-development is about developing that fake positivity. Yeah, we feel so conflicted about this because I will tell you, a positive attitude really helped Mama get through the toughest time of her life. But at the same time, it has been recognized through therapy that a lot of that was what did they call that? Not delusional, but kind of displacing the real feelings for the fake feelings, and then eventually it still had to be addressed. Do you understand what I mean by that? It's like sometimes that fake positivity can hurt you because you are not addressing what needs to be addressed. Emotions, Mama has learned through therapy, and you should talk about your own therapist with this, as we were talking about earlier, because not all situations are equal. But in Mama's case, she hid a lot in books, hid so much in books and stories and making up stories that were practically lies. She told whoppers. When she was a child, she told such whoppers, and she also tried to buy people with things because that was how she thought people would like her. And there were so many issues. I am telling you, there was things. Okay. But all of that to say is that she also had that positive attitude that things would turn out for the better, that someday she would grow up to be the swan, that she believed that she was the ugly duckling, and that someday she would grow up to be the swan. So that was, kind of like a delusion that she grew up with that was not for reals, it was fakes, but it helped. So sometimes that positivity and thinking good about what's to come, even when you're in the garbage dumps. And she was in the garbage dumps a lot of times. And, like we're talking we're talking hospitalization type stuff, right? So, the things that could get me demonetized if I was monetized. I'm not monetized yet. I only have 155 subscribers. Next year, maybe. Next year, maybe, but that's in the future. In any case, what was I saying? Oh, I was just saying that, yeah, positivity is a double-edged sword. And Mama has been accused in the past of being too damn cheerful. And she's like, well, what do you want? If you're talking to somebody, they are going to, at least Mama is going to try and be cheerful so that she doesn't bring more drama and trauma to somebody's life. Like if you say hi to her, she's going to be, hi, how are you? I missed you. And she's not faking it. She's really happy to see you. Like it's not fake. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to tell everybody all your problems all the time. That's kind of sometimes what therapists are for. So that's, my mixed emotions about positivity. Because this fake it till you make it is harmful. But it's also harmful to always think negatively. So, again, it's the and. You can be happy and sad. Okay. Oh, I have something to say about imposter syndrome. I have so many things about imposter syndrome. I struggle. I'm just going to read the question for those who are listening and not watching, and then I will continue with my thoughts. Artfully nobody said, I struggle with imposter syndrome when it comes to that. Talking about that kinds of issues like don't be a newbie and tell people what's wrong with them. I agree with you. I will talk all day about what is wrong with me and what is wrong with Mama. Okay. But I'm not going to tell you what's wrong with you. You know what is wrong. That's why the first part of the success, a saying that Mama has is know yourself. No one can know you more than yourself. Okay, so that it begins there. You got to start with there. But when it comes to imposter syndrome, Mama knows a lady who is a traditionally published author who has been on the New York Times bestseller list the old-fashioned way several times. Like, she's won the Romance Writer of America Award, I think twice now. And she wakes up some mornings and reads what she wrote in her morning writings and says, that is shit. Who the hell is going to read that? That is the horriblest thing I ever saw written ever in my life. Who ever told you could write? And she says this to herself. And she is a New York Times bestseller. Okay? So imposter syndrome is normal when you are creative. And so accept it, revel in it, and know that everybody feels it. Even rich people, people who have reached the heights, they feel it. There is a story by Peter Shankman. Peter Shankman is someone that Mama really looks up to. He's an author and a speaker, and he specializes. Now he talks a lot about ADHD, but he also talks about customer service and stuff. And so, anyways, he tells the story about how when he sold this one company for the several $1 million, because he had made this company and he built it up, and then he sold it, and then he went home and he stepped in his cat's puke. And that was the way of the universe telling him to humble himself, that NASA is still going to puke on the floor. That was his cat's name, NASA. Anyways, and he's dead now, that poor NASA. I cried when he died. Even though I never knew him or met him, we had sadness when NASA passed away. Anyway, the story is, this just goes to show, you can be at the top of the world and still have imposter syndrome, and you still need to be humble even when you are famous. Even when you have reached the heights that some people think is the height, your cat will still puke on the floor. So that's my story. Well, it's not my story. It's Peter Shakeman's story. I totally stole that. But at least I gave him credit, right? Right? I don't know. We haven't talked to him for a while. We used to be a member of Shank Minds. Well, Mama used to be a member of Shank Minds. I don't, was I invented then? I can't remember. Anyways, that's another story. I see we're back up to four live viewers, and I am so happy you are joining to me today. I was just gathering content ideas for my channel in the coming year, and we've talked about anxiety, we've talked about Instagram, we've talked about social media, and we've talked about, oh, thank you that I am saying that for saying that I am the right measure of cheerful. I like that. Yeah, no, when Mama used to work for the it was a federally funded nonprofit that helped small business owners to get started. In our country, Canada, we have something called Western Economic Diversification, which is a funding arm of the federal government that is designed to help small businesses. And so Mama was working there, and she would also always pick up the phone because neither of the other people liked to pick up the phone. So she would pick up the phone and she'd be like, hello, Community Futures, how can I help you? And there was this one guy, this one board member who was a little bit of an older gentleman, very old fashioned. And every time she would pick up the phone, he would go, why are you so darn cheerful? And she would say, well, because who wants to call a government funded agency and get the cranky lady on the phone? Like, really, we're trying to change our impression here and be helpful. Anyway, that's just a little tidbit from when she had her dream job. Yeah, that was really her dream job. Working there was so awesome. That's where she got her training in economic development and cluster development and coaching and training and all of that stuff. That's where she got that the certificates and stuff like that when she was working for Community Futures. But then a new manager came along and they didn't like puppets. And then, so she quit. And it wasn't her dream job anymore. So that's another thing that's different about me and other small business coaches. I don't think that small business is always the right path for everyone. You can find success and freedom in other paths. It's just a matter of fitting what you want in life with what is available and what is there. We really believe in bloom where you are planted. And that it's not about six figures, it's about living a life that brings you joy and that you can, be happy about. That, Mama, she has this one thing that she did, a practice that she did where she wrote her own eulogy and what she wanted to be remembered for when she passes on. And that sounds like really dark and morbid, maybe. But it was a really good exercise in figuring out what is really important. Like, what's really important at the end of the day? What do you want to be remembered for? And Mama, she would really like to be remembered for starting the campground that she dreams of starting one day, the helping place for victims of family violence, so that they can do that. So that's what she wants to do, and we're going to do it through me, hopefully. If my channel grows the way we want it to grow. And see, here's the thing, Mama's really flexible. Mama is like, we were going to do it being preschool, doing preschool lessons and stuff, because she has all that education with the educational psychology and all of that sort of stuff that we did when we were doing that sort of thing. But it's really hard. So we changed directions and we're looking for the direction that brings us a balance of what we know and how we can grow. And so that's how we came to be. And that's what we're doing, and figuring out what we can offer to the world with our unique gifts and what we've been through. Because there has been trauma, there has been drama, there has been fun, there has been lots of doing things and trying things and just rolling with the punches. Because sometimes that's what you got to do. I mean, you just got to go with the flow. And that's definitely been the story of the last couple of years for most people, right? Yeah. I really appreciate that, Lara. And Lara, oh, ah, I really admire you. I just have to say that. Me and Mama just want to say that we really admire you and what you've been doing with the sharing of your MLM story and content. It's been really, really helpful. For me personally, I have never been in an MLM, and Mama, well, you know, she almost got into an MLM first straight out of high school. That one was called Fifth Avenue Jewelry. And she actually called the lady and made the appointment and said, I'm interested. Can you believe that? Mama said, I'm interested in becoming a distributor for this. They sell jewelry. And Mama loved it. And the only reason that she was saved is because she was a broke ass punk, because it cost $3,000. And the lady said, oh, well, you don't have $3,000. Maybe you can get a credit card and go to the bank. You don't get a credit card when you're 19 years old. It just doesn't happen. Yeah, it just doesn't happen. You're 19 years old, you go to the bank. So Mama made an appointment because she was that dumb and naive, we will call her. Maybe not dumb, but naive. She went to the bank. She made an appointment. She said, I want to start a small business and it will cost me $3,000. And the lady did not laugh at her, but she was like, oh no, the bank will not cover inventory. And we cannot make a loan. But if you want to get a loan, you have to write a business plan, and then we will look at it. But I can tell you right now that they will not give you a loan for inventory. And also, you will also have to have collateral. If you want to get a business loan, you will have to have collateral. So Mama didn't get the loan. She did not start with Fifth Avenue Jewelry. And she kind of forgot about that aspect of life for a long, long time. She went and she got, oh, I lost my camera. Can you still hear me out there? I lost my camera. I guess I lost. Am I still, if you can let me know in the comments if you can still hear me or whether I am gone completely. Can you still hear me? Yes or no? I'm gonna go now. I guess my camera died, I guess. Okay, I guess what happened is my battery died in my camera because it didn't last. It only, yeah, I've been talking for an hour and a half now. So, and I'm really happy, Lara B, that I don't scare you because I don't want to scare people. Mama was very worried about that a little bit because people hair. Yeah. So I am going to go too, because Catherine's has to go and my camera, I need to go and get the battery. It's a good thing I have 3 batteries. I think that now I am really pumped up and I am going to make a couple of videos for Saturday, and then you can see what content you have inspired. I can't wait to share that with you. So anyways, I'm going to say bye for now, and thank you so much for joining me and giving me so many ideas, because I really want to make relevant content that makes you happy and helps to encourage, empower, and educate you so that you can have businesses that you can be proud of and that you really, just find pleasure in. Because you know what I see with all the MLM businesses is they are not happy. They are not happy. And I love happy. Until next time, friends. Bye. See you.